Welcome to the Codcast. Welcome to the podcast. Jason's very tired. Welcome to the Cod Paste. This is our cooking podcast where we're going to talk about fish-related delicacies,
our
caviar and fish paste and things like that.
Jason's very tired right now. He got up early.
And it's Jonathan's fault, so...
Okay, yesterday I was tired, but today I have to be awake because I have to get used to this because...
Well, I really want to know why, before you went to bed, we share a room, by the way, because we're living with our parents right now. Well, he always lives with his parents. Why, when you came to bed at like 1:15 a.m. or something, or 1:30, you cracked every bone in your body as loudly as possible?
Because it helps me sleep.
But
my bones were stiff. I had to loosen them.
Okay.
I had to limberize.
But could have done that before you walked right next to where I'm sleeping?
Yeah, but I didn't think of that, and I know there's like a little like fourth dimensional trigger that wakes you up outside of this bubble. So I didn't want to like pass in and out of your bubble to leave the room and pop all my knuckles.
Well, I mean, I was already awake actually, but I was...
okay, then what are you complaining about?
Well, the first thing that happened, I was like on the verge, like I was halfway about to transfer into a dream, and then I heard you walking up the stairs, and then I was like, oh no, and it woke me up.
No, my ticket to dreamland.
What it is that it wakes me up out of stress, not because the sound of you going up the stairs is that loud, but because I'm like, now I'm not going to be able to fall asleep because he's about to come in here and do something that's going to be loud enough to wake me up. But then you went to the bathroom and were doing something in the bathroom for a while.
Brushing my teeth and
so
all that.
I forgot. It took long enough that I forgot, and I almost fell asleep again, and then that's when you cracked every single bone in your body.
I'm sorry.
But
I didn't think
it could have been worse, because if I was in the middle of a dream, then it probably would have just translated into a nightmare where I was being, like, quartered.
And everyone was breaking all your bones.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess you win some, you lose some. But we didn't say the thing. Or did... No, because I said this is the Cod Pass, and I forgot to...
Welcome back to the podcast, the Escape Podcast. I'm the bro host.
I'm the co-host.
And if you are listening to this, then it means that I am already employed. I'm literally working at... If you're a faithful viewer, listening right when this goes up, then I'm literally working right now, or being trained how to work at this internship that I have. Which is why I'm doing
Depressed.
this at the last minute again. We're recording this the day before it has to go up because I've been sidetracked by other things leading up to this.
We could have recorded Saturday or Sunday when you asked me, but both times I forgot, so...
That's okay. I was scared to do it then and too, anyways.
Well, you're always scared to do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared of everything, which is why this internship scares me too. But I'm doing it. I can't stop it. There's no brakes on the job train, unfortunately. Except there's a literal break in the schedule.
If you guys knew how much he was making, you'd be jealous. So I think...
Yes, because that's all that matters to me.
Well,
the guy who spends no money ever.
No, but most people would see it as a good thing. So I'm just saying.
I just see it as a thing, and things scare me when they're not what I'm used to. But that's just me.
Well, congratulations on your job.
Do you want to talk about
your... You should be commenting.
Do you want to talk about your job well done and what you've been working on the past few days that you just finished up?
Well, it's not finished, so...
It doesn't have a fresh coat of paint. It doesn't have wood stain. It doesn't have etched in, like, artistic carvings in the corners that spiral out to all the edges.
Almost all of those things are mutually exclusive. There's not going to be stain and
If you can
paint.
find a way to implement all of those into it, they don't even know what we're talking about yet.
What if I painted half of the box and stained the other half? That would be so ugly.
Dude, it'd be a statement.
Call that two-tone.
Yeah. That could be like a sound pun too.
If you haven't
Put it in
watched
an art museum.
episode 26.5, am I right?
Secretly the most pivotal episode in the entire podcast.
Yeah, world-changing, timeline-altering. If you haven't watched
world building,
you have to watch it to catch up. Not really, but in that episode is when I think I first mentioned what I was building, and you actually get to see it because it's a live recorded podcast. But I'm building a box.
Just stop right there. That's hilarious.
No,
I'm building a box.
I keep calling it a box because it's a lot to explain beyond that, but it's a box that is a housing, a chassis, if you will, for something else. And that something else is a home stereo setup that I made by buying a car radio on eBay, a Pioneer car radio, and getting some aftermarket speakers from my friend's car that he crashed, and combining them into a speaker, like a sound system setup, just using a car radio as a sound system. And so I had the car radio, just like a bare naked car radio.
Bare naked.
And it's just soldered to these speakers. And like it's functional, everything. It plays music, but it's literally 2 speakers and wires connected to a radio, and that's it. So, and I've had that for maybe like 6 to 8 months now.
Yeah, all the parts are sitting in the background of our second podcast of the season background.
I've been at college, so I haven't had really the time or capacity to build something, but I'd been planning to build something to actually house the setup, and so that it's not just random parts laying around. And that way it's a lot more usable and transportable, et cetera, and it looks nice. So that's what I've been working on pretty much the past month since I've been home from college. And I finally almost finished it. The box is complete. Now it's just onto the decoration phase where I'm either going to stain it or paint it or something. But it looks pretty nice. All of the parts are in there. I've been playing it. It sounds cool. It looks cool.
It has a loud fan. He's going to work on that.
It has cooling, which is, I think, the funniest possible thing that I could have done, because it sounds really funny to say that my radio, my car radio has cooling.
Yeah.
Because normally you don't have cooling for a car radio because it doesn't get hot enough to necessitate that. But basically the aftermarket speakers are like draw more power than the radio can handle. And so the radio overheats, especially at loud volumes over time. So I added a fan with cooling to prevent that. And it does a great job. It does a great job. It keeps that thing ice cold. But the problem is that when you're not playing it on loud volume, you're not playing the music on loud volumes, A, the radio's not getting that hot, so you don't need the fan. And B, now the music isn't loud enough to cover up the sound of the fan, and then you just hear the fan running. So I'm going to add a separate switch to turn on and off the fan, depending on whether or not you need it.
And he's also going to add a grill over the fan because it's exposed in the back. Yeah, I don't stick my finger in it.
The fan came with a grill. I just need to bolt it on. It's not.
I want to bolt it on because all the parts I helped build, you threw away, like Boba Esponja.
Actually, Boba Esponja is. I took off like a corner of his head to use it for what the fan is screwed into.
Boba Esponja lives on!
He's actually part of the final.
He's the heart of the...
Yeah, he made it into the final build.
He's the heart of the project.
He's sitting right above the radio.
Okay.
Not that you didn't help with that at all.
Yeah, I know. I used the manual saw. Jason used the electric saw, like a weak.
No, I used the manual saw.
I did all straight up.
For some things.
I know, but then you threw that all away.
No, I'm saying some of the...
Except Esponja.
A few of the final parts that were more crude, tiny parts, I did use the manual.
Oh, good.
So, I used every tool imaginable.
He's a straight up wood shopper now. He's like taking a course on it. He knows more than probably the actual like average wood shop student.
I doubt that. No, I highly doubt that. I was not professionally trained at all. But I definitely know more than the average person who doesn't know about wood or has done anything with wood.
Using chisels. He made his own wood glue from his own sawdust. Resourcefulness.
You said that wrong. I didn't make my own wood glue. I made my own wood filler.
Wood filler.
Using wood glue and sawdust. Anyways, I think that's enough about my box, so I don't think anybody cares that much.
Yeah.
But it is really cool, and you should think that I'm cool.
Here at the podcast, we promote do-it-yourself projects.
Come talk to me when you can solder and woodwork. Yeah. I got engineering and electrical engineering.
Yeah. You can build anything.
And I got software engineering.
Watch out.
I am the engineer. So what do you want to talk about? Are you not prepared for this at all?
I said this in the last episode. There's just no good transition to this, but the biggest thing happening right now is the writer's strikes that we could talk about.
Oh yeah, I don't really know that much about it, but you can talk about it.
You don't? Well, I mean, I thought you'd find this funny because I was talking. I can talk about the Mario movie now. For those of you who don't know, we had an agreement that I couldn't talk about the Mario movie because we dedicated 2 whole episodes to it at all in the last episode, which I just coincidentally did not anyways. But it's funny because now I'm bringing it up. And earlier I was talking about how the writer for the movie did not even have a Wikipedia page. And Jason was like, yeah, writers don't really get much attention. But he was almost like complacent with it. Whereas I thought it was stupid. And then now the writers are on strike.
Well, I mean, that's just the way the world works, dude.
I know, but they're literally making the story, bro. And with as many problems as I may have with the overall story of the Mario movie, I mean, I'm glad it has one.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure some film nerds care about writers and know their writers and stuff, but I think even with film nerds, mostly they just care about directors and sometimes actors. But directors are kind of seen as the author of the film when it comes down to it. Like, there's so many people that work on a film, but if you're gonna call one person the author, like the sole creator of the film, even though they're not, it's usually the director. So generally, when talking about film, people just care about the director, and that's because the director works with the writer, and the director can influence the writing and adjust the writing that the writer has done. The director works with the DP.
They're the ones who provide the direction.
Right. They're working with everybody. So like their creative influence is in it everywhere. So like it makes sense, but I mean I don't know. It's like do you know the names of the cinematographers, the DPs in some of your favorite movies?
I feel
Probably
like
not.
The writing is where it all starts, though. You need to have like even just a rough outline of what's actually going to happen.
If not for the DP, there wouldn't be any thing for you to look at all because they're controlling the videography of it. So it's like, if we're really gonna get down to horseshoes and hand grenades, is that the phrase?
Is that? I haven't heard that one. Horseshoes and hand grenades?
No, that's
down to brass.
It's down to brass tacks, but horseshoes and hand grenades is something. I don't know what that phrase is used for, but I wanted to say it. I mean, are you?
Brass tacks is more like down to business, but
if none of the extras were in the movie, it would feel so empty. So should we start crediting all the extra? I mean, they are, but should we really start making Wikipedia pages for all the extras in every movie?
What I'm hearing is you're anti-writer in this.
I am not anti-writer. I'm just saying I don't know how you expect everybody in the world to be popular, because if they are, then nobody is. There's obviously going to be people that are more popular, and that's just the way it works.
But I actually, because I have always thought that the writers are under-recognized, as I said before this even started, like I brought up. But I've been hearing about some of the stuff that they're striking for, and obviously it sounds very reasonable. They want bigger, like, working spaces and better pay. And the worst thing I've heard is that on streaming
services,
they don't get paid royalties. Any other show, you get paid for however like airtime there is, whereas this, it's like on you get television. Paid one and done.
He's talking about television.
Yeah,
but streaming services have given the opportunity for more corporate greed.
Yeah, and other people do still get paid like that, where they get paid for how much it's like, the director and stuff. But the writers and maybe some other people don't. And that just seems like a huge ripoff. But what's freaking me out is it always comes back to this. But the most recent creative way people have been trying to get around this is they're saying now, well, I guess we'll have to use AI to write the scripts. And what do you even think about the possibility of that?
It's not a possibility. I mean, you could tell an AI to write a script, and maybe it could lay some kind of groundwork for something, but
then could the director?
would,
you give a lot of credit to the director. Could the director run with that?
No, you'd have to human review it and alter it. And I mean, I guess a director could do that, but then he's basically the writer at that point. But I mean, again, this just comes back to the fact that AI is not generative, so it's basically just going to be. When it comes down to it, it's going to be a giant Frankenstein of other stuff. It's read and copied, so it's not. It doesn't have the ability to have insight or create something new. It's creating a combination of things that it's been trained on. So maybe it could write a script. It would be bad and it would be unoriginal.
I think. And we've talked before about how technically that's the way the human brain works too. You know, we're working off of what we've seen, but we at least have
partially. But there is something that psychologists call insight, which is where you just make random discoveries out of nowhere.
Yeah, that too, because we're not solely inspired by art. This thing fell down. We're not solely inspired by the art. We're also just inspired by like real life experiences. You know, robots can't go out for a walk.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
But also, you know, there's like, we have like meta knowledge, you know? We can like look at something and be like, this isn't creative enough. Whereas AI doesn't really have that on that level. We have like a social understanding of what is like cliche or done before. And we can like steer clear of that. But in a way, I think the reason why they go out with the AI like this, swinging out the gates, is because a lot of them already don't care about the quality of the writing that much anyway. Like we're in a real like downhill area for like creative mediums where a lot of it is just, you know, branding and star power and stuff like that. And so I think people are actually valuing the actual like on paper content of the media a lot less.
You know, when you talk on this podcast, you act like you're doing nervous public speaking in front of a group of people.
I am.
You can't look at the audience, which I consider to be the microphone. You only look at me as a safety.
Okay, if that's your argument?
No, that's not it. That's not it. But I notice you like occasionally nervously glance over the microphone because you know you should be talking towards the microphone, and then you change and you talk away from the microphone.
No, my mouth is facing the microphone, but you're literally the only actual person here, and I'm talking to you.
Well, you're also far away from the microphone.
Oh, yeah, here, hold on.
Ow! But the biggest thing is that as you're talking, you keep glancing at your phone and holding it in front of your face like a person reading off their note cards, even though you're not even reading anything off of anything. You're just looking at it because you're nervous, like when you have note cards in your public speaking.
Okay, well, thanks for dropping my facade.
Well, I'm just letting you know that I don't know what you're looking at on your phone, but it's not giving you the answers. That like you're just it's off the dome. I don't know why you're looking at your phone.
Let's get Candid. Media is on a downward spiral. They're remaking a live-action Moana. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
that's like one of their most recent animated movies. And why? What reason do they have to make it live action? What could you gain?
Media's really going downhill because
that's what I said.
Because they cut out The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, I know.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson from the live-action Moana movie.
And they're not using culturally accurate actors for the parts.
First of all, that was a joke because I think The Rock is quite the played-out actor. But
yeah.
Did you hear about the lawsuit?
Oh no, I didn't.
Against him by this woman who like says that her children were kidnapped by this
what?
By this group of like celebrities, like Hollywood celebrities, and she claims that her kids were kidnapped by them, like it's some kind of cult, and it's really confusing. And then right after that lawsuit happened against her, against The Rock and a bunch of other celebrities and random people, as soon as that happened, Disney dropped him from the Moana remake. I'm so confused about the whole thing. I could be telling you something that's wrong or has changed now because I haven't heard anything else about it. I'm going to be honest. But
you'd have to be like an idiot or have like some sort of like spiritual obligation, like almost like a suicide bomber type of like mentality to like go out and as like noticeably, visibly as Dwayne The Rock Johnson and connect someone's child instead of like have someone do it for you. Like, because here's the thing. You can be anti-celebrity and be schizophrenic all you want, but this is just stupid. Like, why would anyone do this, even if there was a cult? You wouldn't go out as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I think she was like, I don't know. It's like the whole lizard people thing. It's like she thinks that, like, there's some kind of cult where they have the power to, I don't know, like, shapeshift and steal her kids, and then I don't understand it.
Bro, we were playing...
I think she has some kind of mental issues.
We were playing Quiplash the other night, and I missed a chance to make a conspiracy theory joke because I didn't get one of the questions, and then I made one for another one, and it flew over everyone's head. It was why haven't we gone back to the moon? And I said production costs. But no one got it.
Well, the problem is that it's ambiguous because you could be talking about production of the space
I know,
ship.
but I feel like if I made it too wordy, it would lose the funny. And you guys got mad at me when I explained my last joke, so I didn't do it.
It's just not... It's I guess, the wrong format for Quiplash because you have to just, like, read it fast and vote.
The one I didn't get to make, though, was... what is the worst part of being Justin Bieber's bodyguard? And I was going to say stopping him from turning into a lizard and attacking his fans. For those of you who don't know, that's what this is making me think of. Is that story people had of where Justin Bieber, like a bunch of fans chased him into a corner and he turned into a lizard and chased after them. This is, aside from being more grounded in reality, at least what's physically possible, this is what this story reminds me of.
I think you should have said for the moon one that the CGI was too expensive, something like that. I think that would have been a better execution of the joke. I would have, if you said CGI was too expensive, then that would have been.
I mean, it's a bit closer to the original theory because back then they didn't have the CGI.
Yeah, but it's more accurate to what we have now.
Yeah.
Which is why when we gone back to the moon now, because now we have CGI. So your joke would be that the CGI is too expensive.
Okay, I'll take notes for the next time we play Quiplash.
For the next time you get that.
But
exact
anyways,
question.
back to The Rock kidnapping children. There's no follow up other than that?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I can look it up live.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say she's crazy. Because again, you can think whatever you want, but there's just too much. It's too stupid.
Hold on. You fill the time talking about something while I Jamie this up really quick.
It just feels so stupid to me because this is what I was talking about. The whole Moana thing is it's clearly just going off of like brand recognition. This is like the Frozen 2 thing where the sequel wasn't even good, but there was like Frozen was successful, so it's like bam, Frozen. Moana was successful. Bam, Moana again, but worse edition.
Okay, this is going to be the worst thing I've ever done on this podcast, but I'm about to read an article from a website called DisneyDining.com. So just before we go into this, you have to understand this is one of those weird, quote-unquote, news journal article, what's the term I'm looking for? Basically, they have these for Disney World and Orlando Studios and other theme parks, where people write news articles about them. And it could literally be like one day one of the rides shuts down and they make a whole news article about it. It's like for Disney adults. It's scary.
It's like a weird super fan.
Just so you know,
subculture.
I'm currently reading an article off of one that is specifically about, I'm assuming, dining at Disney World parks. But it is an article about the Dwayne The Rock Johnson $3 billion kidnapping lawsuit.
You said like a group of celebrities. Was there more people involved in this?
Yes. Oh, that's right. It's WWE stars. I think it was wrestlers. It was pro wrestlers.
Dude,
fake wrestlers.
Dude, is this just building up for like a plot line in the WWE?
So Dwayne The Rock Johnson vows to clear his name in $3 billion kidnapping lawsuit. Actor Dwayne Johnson has finally responded to allegations that he orchestrated the kidnapping of a woman and her children. The woman herself, apparently. In a massive $3 billion...
Okay, now it sounds even more unrealistic. How are you going to escape Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
In a massive $3 billion lawsuit filed against him and others by a former pro wrestler and WWE star. The girl herself is a former pro wrestler.
Yo, what? Hold on. Actually, hold on.
I forgot these details. Okay, wait. They're putting in a bunch of fillers, so I have to look at 12 ads. Okay. Former Total Nonstop Action wrestler Trinesha Biggers, also known by her ring name Raka Khan, is pursuing legal action against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in October 2022. Like, that's how old this is. Accusing him of being part of an elaborate plot to kidnap Biggers' children. Raka Khan alleges that Dwayne Johnson conspired with multiple other defendants to take her children from her. In late April 2023, Biggers was given the green light to proceed with her case. But two things about the lawsuit have the defendants' attorneys and the general public trying their hands at Johnson's trademark eyebrow raise, as the allegations sound like a complete transference of blame, if not complete and total nonsense.
I mean,
so I don't know anything.
The background information makes it seem a bit more plausible, though, like as if they have some sort of grudge from like knowing each other. Because kidnappings have happened. Kidnappings not usually, but they happen between people who like know each other.
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. Also, she named Michael Jordan in the lawsuit.
Okay, well that's not even WWE.
It just seems bizarre.
Yeah,
dude.
I think she just took some hard drugs and saw something.
It sounds like maybe she's jealous of The Rock's success as a pro wrestler and past his pro wrestling career.
Did they say they're making a Frozen 3? There's like some other sequel they're making. See, I don't even care anymore. Nobody cares. You just keep up with this stuff to complain about it. Good news, though, the Mario movie... I was actually thinking about this.
I'm sorry, that's the funniest thing.
The Mario movie...
No, stop. Modern media is going downhill. Like, are they making a Frozen 3 now? Like, good news is the Mario movie was great.
No, it's...
I mean,
the Mario movie was okay. The Mario movie was okay. I'm not one of those people. But it passed, I think, Frozen 2 now. Or at least it passed Frozen 1. And here's the thing. I was thinking...
that's good news.
It's becoming the highest grossing animated movie. And the thing is, I was thinking, that's not really a good thing. It doesn't really deserve to be up there. But then I realized something. I looked at the list of all the ones that were up there. None of them did. It is actually, surprisingly, the most deserving one. None of the animated films that I think are that good are... Except Spider-Verse.
Avatar?
Oh,
that's not considered animated.
Yeah, it's not considered animated. But the only other one that's up there, and it's not even that close to the top, I don't think, at least not in the grand scheme of where I think it should be, is Spider-Verse. That, I think, deserves to be up there.
You don't think Frozen 2 is good?
No.
You didn't think the
Frozen
original
1 was better.
Okay.
And even then, I didn't think it was that good.
I mean, I thought Frozen was good. I thought Frozen 2 was mediocre. But
I have no idea how Frozen 2 grossed more than Frozen 1.
I wouldn't hate on it.
It seems so ignorable. Like, it just came and went.
I forgot everything that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot of nothing, honestly.
I mean, it was just because Frozen got so big, and they were like, "This is an easy way to make more money."
I didn't even see that.
But it worked.
I didn't even see that much merchandising for it or anything. And
we were talking. Kidding? Stop right there, dude.
Okay.
I saw merch for the spin-off.
Keep in mind, I don't go outside.
I saw merch for the spin-off Frozen movie they made, which I forget what it's called now, but they made like some kind of like shorter spin-off one. I don't remember what it is. Frozen Fever or something.
Again, you don't care, but you just keep up with this stuff to comment about.
The merch there was so much Frozen merch, so don't even get me started on that. But there's so much Mario movie merch too. I really want the Hot Wheels.
I do, but the fact that it's a Hot Wheels makes me feel, and I know this is a marketing scheme, but it makes me feel like I need like one of the tracks or something to go with it, because that's the whole point is that they're compatible.
No. You don't understand Hot Wheels. My roommate Yvonne buys Hot Wheels.
No way.
Because they look like cool cars that he likes.
Oh.
Like people just collect Hot Wheels, and he keeps them in the boxes too. He's one of those people.
Oh,
boxed collectors.
Oh my goodness, dude.
So, no, we should. It's probably like two. No, it's probably more than that because it's fancy. But like most of the Hot Wheels cars are like $2 to $5. So it's probably not that expensive.
The toys, like a merchandise that they have for the movie, like the action figures and stuff, actually look pretty good quality. Like they look like decently modeled. They got like movable joints and everything. They come with accessories.
Okay, wait. This is too much of the Mario movie. I know you're allowed to talk about it.
Transition. Speaking of, they just made Moana, and now they're making another Moana live action. They just made the Mario movie, and now apparently there's talks that they're making a Legend of Zelda movie.
And then I saw that somebody from Illumination just debunked that and said it was ridiculous, and he had no idea what they were talking about.
Because honestly, even if they were going to make a Legend of Zelda movie, like I'd be fine with that in theory. It's a bit soon, but and honestly, it makes sense because apparently, they put the brakes on everything Mario when they started the Mario movie, and they just came out with a new Zelda, so now would be a good time if they ever had to put the brakes on everything Zelda. except in the film department.
So
I said this already in our discussion. I would not want Illumination to make the movie.
I wanted to talk about this because I never once believed it, but I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like it proves that conversation we had about how right after the Mario movie came out, every single celebrity, it was like they were doing it on purpose. Yeah. They were like, Charlie Day was like, yeah, we should make a Luigi's Mansion movie. And Jack Black was like, yeah, I want to see like a Bowser-sided movie.
I think their brains, it's like everyone has multiverse brain on their head. They all have like cinematic universe brain. They like think this is what peak cinema is, and it's not. But it can work, but it's not a necessity.
Well, it's the MCU. Marvel and the Avengers have corroded everything we know.
Especially Chris Pratt, because he's actually involved in this. He's like, this is what he thinks is the standard.
But anyways, I never actually believed it at all. I just thought that it was basically just a random rumor that got to such an extreme level that it was almost believable. But then I did see that apparently somebody from Illumination said that they had no idea where it came from.
And that's what I was leaning towards too. But people were talking about this like it was fact.
Yeah.
It was always a rumor.
That's the problem.
And that's why it reminded me so much of before the movie even came out, the Mario movie. Everyone was like, confirmed. DK spin-off film in the works. I was like, at the same time?
I saw at least 5 quote-unquote news sources, like random Twitter news pages and I bet it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
Literally say Illumination is reportedly working on it. It's like, no, you can't.
You can't just throw around the word reportedly like to say whatever you want. It's like
reportedly by who? Your left butt cheek? Like I could, I could report to you that they're making a Balls 3 movie.
Yes, and because he said it, as reported on the Escape podcast,
reportedly making Balls 3.
They're reportedly making Balls 3.
Illumination would be so terrible for a Legend of Zelda movie. So bad.
But I was thinking, if they ever do make a Legend of Zelda movie, they got Miyamoto on board, directly involved.
I just don't think it would be as popular as Mario. Maybe riding off the success of Tears of the Kingdom, but still, I just don't think it would be anywhere close to as... Because
some people wanted it to be live action.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It would be better live action than animated. But
I think maybe they could do animated, but with a more realistic approach to the visuals.
That's the problem. Little kids won't like that as much as cartoony Mario, and little kids don't like Legend of Zelda, period, as much as Mario.
Go watch Avengers and see people get beaten to a pulp. They like action and grit.
But not when
they've been trained
But if it's a video game, they wouldn't find it interesting. They'd be like...
If it's a comic book character, they do. And honestly, video games have more appeal to little kids than comic
Jonathan,
books.
I want you to understand that like 5-year-olds don't know what Legend of Zelda is. It is not.
And they knew what Iron Man was before he was on the big screen?
Yes, dude.
No,
little
they didn't.
kids are obsessed with superheroes.
Wait, actually. What? No. Here, hold on.
Jonathan.
Spider-Man, yes. Spider-Man, absolutely. But Iron Man and the like...
What is this argument?
Iron Man and the like didn't really get popular until the MCU, I thought.
We never watched movies, hardly, but like especially not mainstream ones like the Avengers or any superhero movies like that when I was a very young kid, like in kindergarten. And yet I knew every single one of the Avengers because of... People would just talk about them. Like, people were obsessed with superheroes. That's always been a thing.
No, dude, because I'm thinking, how would kids even find out? Because Spider-Man is obvious, and that's why I said he's an exception.
Okay,
They've had Spider-Man movies for a long time now.
John, there's this thing called parents. There's this thing called parents that tell their kids about superheroes because they think that they'll like them. It's the same reason. This gritty
story of a millionaire who fights people with illegal, militia techwear that he repurposed.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me enforce this on you, kid, and you can wear it on your sneakers and your t-shirts.
Okay.
And then in the future, which I can see, when a movie comes out and this is mainstream, you'll love it.
A, it's not that deep. B, I don't know if you...
I know I don't go outside.
I don't know if you have any point in saying this, but it doesn't change the fact that the Avengers are more popular than The Legend of Zelda and Link. Like, that, It's way more recognizable. That movie would not be that popular.
I know. I'm just saying, I think they could make it popular. I think they have the power to sell
Nowhere near as popular as the Mario movie. It wouldn't even be close. It would be a failure in comparison.
Okay.
It would absolutely be a failure in comparison.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know how
One day we might have to judge your words.
Literally, is it the highest grossing or it's second highest grossing movie of all time, Avengers Endgame, and you're going to claim that the Avengers are not as recognizable as the Legend of Zelda?
I'm saying when each of the Avengers started off in the film world, like the original Iron Man, the original Captain America, they did not have as much fame as you're talking about now.
Sure, that was like a decade ago. I don't know why that's
relevant
now.
I'm saying that's this. This is the starting point for the Legend of Zelda in that
Yeah,
mainstream.
and so it's not going to be popular, like you just said.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, but that's where it starts. And the Iron Man films worked out starting from there. Captain America worked out starting from there, and they built up.
I don't think
to the big franchises.
I don't think they're ever going to be marketing The Legend of Zelda to kids in that way. They do market superheroes to kids, very young kids. So, but The Legend of Zelda, in my opinion, has never been marketed to kids, like young kids. It's never been a young kid game.
I think marketing superheroes to kids was a mistake. That's how we got Elsa Gate. Bro, have you been hearing about that?
Elsa Gate?
You haven't heard of that?
You have a weird stance on superheroes that I didn't expect. I mean, I don't think
it changes every day.
They're that gritty, really. I mean, maybe if you go fully into their backstory, but like the comic books are like for a more mature audience.
Here's the thing: the comic books,
little kids.
No, the comic books
are. Understand, if
you gotta understand.
If you asked a little kid about like the backstory of Iron Man, they would not say all that stuff you said about the millionaire ripped his heart out, whatever. They would just be like, he's red and yellow and he shoots laser.
We gotta understand.
So
that is like a product
cool
of, and most people who grew up during that period are probably a lot older now. But there was a time when there were really strict like censorship laws for like comic books, and they were really kiddified. Like they were very dumbed down. They were not allowed to have grit. And I think the biggest ones during that time was actually more DC than Marvel. I think Marvel is what sort of eventually pushed towards it not being as much of that. And I think their films reflect that. And that's what I'm saying. I think there's this video I've seen where...
comment whose side you're on. They're probably on my side.
There's this
comment
video,
if you're on my side.
There's this video I've seen where there's a bunch of people who are like... You know how people dress up to Spider-Man to like your birthday for if you're like a little kid? There was like... They were putting on like a performance.
Oh yeah, you know how they dress up as Link from The Legend of Zelda as well? Oh wait, they don't do that!
Did they dress up as Thanos for people's? Did they dress up as Thanos for people's birthday parties before Avengers? No, they didn't.
Just finish what you're saying. I'm just enjoying being right. I just feel so right.
That wasn't
right
even
now.
the argument I was going towards, anyways. And it was always Spider-Man because Spider-Man always had the movies. People didn't dress up as Iron Man until the MCU started being established.
You're so stuck in your Nintendo fanboy mode if you think that the Legend of Zelda movie would be popular.
I never said it would be popular. I said it would be popular enough. Just like Iron Man was popular enough to get started.
I don't think it would get started, though.
Why? How would you...
Because...
Unless your argument is just that you don't think it'll be good. They won't be competent. No. Because that's fine. But I'm going at this from the standpoint that it will be.
Maybe if they kidify and animate it, but... Animate it. But if it's live action, then it wouldn't be like something targeted towards kids. I don't think. And then how is it going to get started with kids if it's not targeted to kids?
It's already got the Nintendo brand name on it, just like they always had the Marvel brand name on it.
Kids don't young kids don't care about Nintendo. I hate to break to you. I know you did as a kid, but that's not the reality of the world, Jonathan.
Excuse me?
No, they don't just see Nintendo and they're like, yes, I like. They see Mario or Pikachu or Kirby and they're like, yay.
Well, yeah, but like. They can put two and two together. Like, I'm not saying kids necessarily know Marvel by name.
You are forgetting that you are autistic, and your life as a kid was.
I'm saying a kid would find out. Oh, I have no idea what a Nimpembo is, but this is the movie made by the Mario people. Oh, you know.
I don't think that would be quite how it works, but
especially since you're saying parents have so much influence on this. Look. Do not underestimate the power of, like, old Nintendo fanboys who grew up with the NES to be like, hey, little Jimmy, let's play your first Mario. Look, that's The Legend of Zelda. I grew up playing... You want to go to the theater and watch it with me?
But it's like when we were watching the Mario movie and the kid in the back was like, Donkey Kong! If you took your kid to a Legend of Zelda movie, they'd be like...
But that's literally the argument you just made with Iron Man. It was like, Iron Man, he do red and yellow! But that's like... And you're telling me that...
Yes, because they're... Because
Okay, Link sucks. The only thing Nintendo has going for them is Mario and Pokemon. Everything else they should just throw out.
You're speaking the microphone constantly. No,
I'm actually going to have to lower the volume on that.
If we're talking about Nintendo IP that's targeted towards kids, Mario, Pokemon, Kirby, maybe Splatoon.
You think Kirby could work, but The Legend of Zelda couldn't?
Well, I'm not talking about movies. I said Nintendo IP that's targeted towards kids is Mario, Pokemon, Kirby, stuff like that. Cutesy, simplified designs. I'm just saying that The Legend of Zelda is not targeted towards kids. Or it's not marketed towards kids.
I know, but like... are you gonna look at the themes and the style of the original
We cannot keep arguing
MCU
about
films
this.
and say that they were marketed towards kids?
I'm not saying the movies are. I'm saying that the superheroes, as an IP, as an intellectual design, are marketed towards kids. Extremely, yes.
I feel
Absolutely
like the mainstream MCUs were not that much until they got their film star.
John, you walk into the kids' clothing store that I worked at, and we constantly have stocked.
You worked there after the MCU films came out.
Minecraft
Can you
backpacks.
stop a minute, Jason?
Yeah.
I want to know if you can do Wednesday at what time? 1:30. Wednesday at 1:30 at the dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That should work.
Minecraft backpacks, Spider-Man backpacks. My Little Pony
Of course,
backpacks.
because Spider-Man's had movies for years. You want to tell me right now that you saw significant amounts of merchandise for Captain America, Iron Man, maybe even the Hulk, before their MCU appearances? Then, boom, I'll be like, oh, concede. And here's the thing, I don't go outside, so that could very well be true. All you have to do is tell me that. And then I'll just be like, oh, I was wrong.
I don't know what your point is anymore, so I think we should just move on. I genuinely have no idea what you're arguing anymore.
Welcome, after that dentist appointment scheduling intermission, welcome back to the We've Lost Track, and we're both very tired, and it's early in the morning podcast.
I just have no. All I'm saying is that Link is not targeted towards kids, and that superheroes are. That's my only point at this point, and I have no idea what you're arguing against that about. I don't know what it has to do with them having movies or not. If Link had a movie, I still don't think he would be targeted towards kids. That's just not how his branding is. I just don't think that changes anything. Them having movies, okay, maybe that's where the branding started, but the point is that they are marketed towards kids now. They're on backpacks. You wouldn't see Link on a backpack. You see Mario and Pikachu on backpacks.
I'm just glad...
That's my only point.
I'm just glad that... I'm not arguing with that. I want to say what I am arguing, but then you'll misinterpret it again.
I just don't understand what there is to
I
argue.
am just saying
if that's my entire
I do not
point.
think that Iron Man appeared on backpacks either until they made a movie about him. So then maybe when they make a movie about The Legend of Zelda, then boom, Zelda and Link will be on backpacks.
Yeah, I just don't... That's just not how Nintendo works, I don't think, is what I'm saying. I don't think that they would start branding I don't think they would, like, change their marketing for a brand entirely just based on the movies. You have to understand...
There's literally already so much stuff out there that's marketed exclusively about the Mario movie. Not Mario the franchise, the Mario movie. I've seen so much
because Mario has already been marketed to kids for decades. He's already been
like
on
Spider-Man.
backpacks and action figures. My point is...
Literally, this is the example. Mario is the Spider-Man of Nintendo.
Can you let me finish?
Link is the Iron Man.
Nintendo IPs are so much different than superhero IPs. I think that's the disconnect that you're not understanding here. The way that they market superhero IPs is a vast world of difference from the way that Nintendo chooses to market their own IPs. We all know that Nintendo does not operate the same way that like, I guess Disney owns Avengers now, operates in terms of marketing. Disney will do anything to sell out and shill their IP in as many ways as possible. Nintendo does not work like that. Nintendo has, as far as I've seen, hardly done any kind of branding or marketing for The Legend of Zelda towards kids in stuff like action figures not action figures, but I guess I've already said it, so you get the point. That's just how it is. That's just how it is.
Well, maybe when they start making the film, they'll start merchandising it like that. The way they did with Iron Man. Oh, wait, I just made the same argument 5 times over. I really don't think
that's just not how Nintendo works. You're
just saying you don't think they will.
I just
don't think they'll ever market the movie. After...
To kids, no.
Okay. That's all you had to say. You just don't think Nintendo is
diehard,
will never market The Legend of Zelda to kids. That's all you're saying. That's literally your whole argument?
Yes. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Why couldn't you have just said that?
That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Well, no, I think you said a lot of other things in there, but...
No, literally my entire point this whole time has been superheroes always marketed towards kids. Legend of Zelda never has been. Probably never will be.
That's what I would disagree with the always part of your first clause, but At
least in modern times.
And then my disagreement just comes in. I could see Nintendo possibly, at least on some scale, marketing it towards kids, or at least a younger
comes from
audience.
my disbelief that they would ever even make a movie about it geared towards kids in the first place. If they decided to do that, then maybe that would be...
Yeah, I don't want them to.
Maybe that would be a revolutionary change of heart that means that they are going to start branding it towards kids. But I just don't see any world in which that even happens to begin with.
But here's the thing, where I was saying I don't think they would have to make them... not saying they will make a Disney move, but I don't think they have to make a Disney move to have it be appealing to kids, because if you look at the original, like, Iron Man movies, he was, trapped in, like, a terrorist war camp and stuff. I don't think they were marketed towards kids either. They just ended up appealing to them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They don't care about taking the movie and then making something marketable. They just pump out Iron Man designs on clothes and backpacks for kids just because.
So you just think the iconography and nothing else?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's just an icon. It has nothing to do with the movie.
Well, you don't think that iconography, The Legend of Zelda, could be appealing to kids?
Nintendo markets things in relation to their games or to whatever content they produce. With superheroes, it's just like, yay, we own the rights to this iconography, so let's sell it in whatever way possible. It doesn't have to have any relevance to anything. To have your way with it as long as it makes us money. That is the massive difference between something like Disney and Nintendo. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I feel like this is a bit speculative, and I feel like we're both sort of on different planes of existence. So let's move on before we make this the entire podcast.
It already is.
I was going to say, though, that if they ever did make a Legend of Zelda movie, I don't want it to be that kidified. I feel like they actually... I never said this, but...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But the Mario movie, I think they kidified it a bit too much in some areas already, even though it's a bit more flexible to that. But I hope this. They got Miyamoto on board for the Mario movie. I would hope that... Because Miyamoto has not been as involved in the Legend of Zelda series lately. I hope they get Koizumi and Aonuma to work on it directly. That's what I would want.
The theoretical Legend of Zelda film that's not happening.
That could happen in the distant future.
And wouldn't be marketed towards kids?
Yeah, sure.
I just don't think it would.
I'm not saying it would be marketed towards kids, but I'm saying also not saying it couldn't appeal to kids in some capacity. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yes, but just not on the level that would make it popular enough to be nearly successful as the Mario movie.
Yeah, I never said it would be as successful. Just like Iron Man's never going to be as successful as Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying.
You have to understand that if it's going to be half as successful as the Mario movie, it's not worth.
Next topic. I put a period. I put a pin in it.
All I'm saying is that you have to understand that big companies, that's just a waste of time and money. Then they're never going to do it. They would never do that if it's not going to be wildly successful, and I don't think it can be. That's my closing remark on it.
Transitioning to Nintendo, you want to talk about to still Nintendo but different. You want to talk about Pikmin 4?
Sure. So if you haven't already clicked off, in other words, you have. So this is to our audience of 0 viewers right now.
This is the worst podcast ever, but it's very fitting for my departure. I may not be back until August 11th. That's when the internship ends. Oh yeah, but Pikmin 4.
You're not gonna have an hour and a half to record a podcast on the weekends. Like, what do you mean?
And make the thumbnails and all that stuff. Nah, if this is anything like college, I'm going to be working 24/7 into the wee hours of the night just to produce the amount of labor that a normal person could do in their sleep.
Your working hours is during the week.
Yeah, but if I don't want to get fired for not getting enough work done, I'll have to work overtime with no pay.
I don't think you understand how an internship works. But I think you'll be very happily surprised then once you start.
Well, if the job world is way easier than college, then I've got some complaints to tell to college.
Dude, when you get a job, you can just like do nothing, and if you're good enough at hiding it, you'll just make money with.
I know, but I couldn't live. I would quit my job if I found myself doing that. I couldn't live with that.
You're doing an internship. Literally, you're getting paid to be taught how to do stuff. You're not expected to do anything like perfectly or to completion necessarily. It is not your job to be.
I'll be expecting me to do it. Sometimes you got to have your own expectations for yourself. Otherwise, you fall apart, and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh, wow, I'm nothing.
Okay, Jonathan, go ask them when you get into your internship tomorrow, do you expect me to be working overtime on weekends on some of this stuff? And you know what they're going to tell you? No. So, how about that? I think you'll have time on weekends to do. But
then I'll ask them, hey, do you expect me to get literally anything done? And they'll be like, yes. And then it was like, well, those two things are not mutually exclusive, so... Anyways, just when I thought Pikmin 4 couldn't get any more generic, they added a character creator. Come on. They're literally every single game now.
I knew you were going to hate it. I just knew you were going to hate it.
I actually kind of like it because when you have as many... Or do you think they're going to have all, like, 8 characters playable at the same time? In the same way they've had the 3 captains playable? Or the 2 before this playable at the same time?
No, I don't.
What if
I don't
there
think
are
it's
8...
possible.
Yo, what if there are 8 continents on the map, and you
That's-
can switch between them at any time in the day, and each has their own captain?
That's actually exactly what I was about to say. I think it's going to be something like
sorry, I
that.
stole it from
I
you.
think they're going to be in like very separated areas. Maybe like
Maybe?
there might be like 2 captains to an area or something like that. Because that makes sense. That's how it's been in the past. So it might not be like each of them are on their own. But that remains to be seen if they're going to use like cooperative multi-captain stuff in this game. But I don't think there's... I think it's too much if there's 8 captains altogether. It's got to be that they're separated.
That's also too many. I was going to say is I actually like the character designer feature here, and also just possibly having the other ones be background characters. Because if there's going to be 8 like main characters, I think trying to make them all distinct and well designed and everything like they did with the 3 captains from the last game, and Olimar and Louis and all those, I think that's just too much. You're going to spread yourself too thin. They're not going to be iconic enough.
The only thing I think that my only thing that I think is funny, not necessarily bad about the character creator, is that theoretically you could customize your character to look exactly like one of the other existing captains.
Yo, actually, I didn't think of that.
And then there'll just be 2 of the same captains.
You could make it your own like fan fiction where Alf is rescuing the rescue team.
Yeah, no,
he's the new hire.
Dude, that's why they have a character creator.
Yo, dude, wait,
It's fine.
hold
The
on.
gears are coming.
How
He realized.
do you think you give them pointy ears and like thin eyes? Could you literally make Olimar save himself?
But I was thinking about this a lot because now you're really playing as yourself in this game. Whereas I kind of liked playing as somebody else in the other games.
I liked them having... I liked being put in Olimar's shoes. It was like nice. It was this sort of like everyman worker guy who was just stranded on a planet on the way to like delivering carrots.
It felt like I was role-playing.
Well, he was on a vacation.
It felt like I was role-playing as exactly what you just described. Like,
now it just feels like it's not like an everyman scenario, but a blank slate scenario. Like there's nothing there, you know?
Yeah.
Like you literally pop in to rescue a rescue team as the new recruit, and that's your whole backstory.
I don't like resorting on my own personality. That's also why I liked Pikmin 3's characters less, because I feel like they didn't have the same... I think they were characterized.
I like their backstory. I like the backstory of going to a planet to get food to revive your population.
I think they were characterized well,
shortage.
but for some reason, something about their aesthetic as characters just didn't click with me the same way Olimar does.
I think it works,
and
knowing
I'm
that
never
they're from
to
a
finish
different
the
planet.
sentence because as soon as he hears
Sorry.
one thing in his brain that he can talk about, it's like neuron activation, and his mouth just starts moving.
Neuron activated. Keep going.
I don't remember. All I was saying is that I feel like I relate or connect to Olimar more.
His design is
And
more
also
distinct, maybe?
That he just feels like it helps me. He immerses me more in the game. His character immerses me more in the game. Like it just feels more.
I definitely
Pikmin-y. It feels more. Maybe it's just because I like the first 2 games where they feel more stressful and more like you're in desperation, like to survive.
Oh yeah, I hope this game is decently difficult. That's
I'm
one thing.
sure it will be. It's a Pikmin game.
But when you're talking about like iconography and like the style of
Oh
Pikmin,
no, not that word.
Iconography.
I'm getting Marvel flashbacks.
No, don't get flashbacks from literally minutes ago. I'm using it in a different context. I'm just saying it does feel. The new features feel a little bit less Pikmin-y to me, and that's what I was complaining about the first time that I had this rant about Pikmin 4, where it was never that I thought the game would be bad, but the new ideas that they have just don't feel very original. Whereas you look at the new ideas that the original Pikmin and even Pikmin 2 proposed based off of its predecessor, and they were pretty creative ideas in the video game landscape, and for successor to its old ideas.
Here's my problem with what you're saying.
Now it's like you can ride a dog, you can freeze water, you can climb walls.
You think that the only reason why the idea is not creative is because, aesthetically speaking, it's not creative in your opinion because it's a dog. Beyond that, we have no idea what all functions the dog is going to serve. And beyond, and even further on a grander scale, how can anything in Pikmin be uncreative when Pikmin is the only game in the world that is like Pikmin? anything that they do is creative because there's nothing in the world that they can implement that you can say is like there's nothing that has been used in the same context as Pikmin because Pikmin is the only game that exists that is like Pikmin. So I feel like anything they do is creative. That is why I like
Pikmin, though. Just like Luigi's Mansion is the only game that feels like itself. That's why I've always been a big fan of it. Dude, the GameCube had a lot of that creativity in it.
But
why can't we go back to the GameCube days?
I'm waiting to speak on all of the new stuff that they implement after I see it because I don't think I've seen enough of it to say how creative it is. It might flow really well into the gameplay and feel really creative. We're just seeing trailers of it where it's kind of being shoved down our throat just to see how the new stuff works. It might flow really well in the gameplay.
I really hope there's at least one more new type of Pikmin other than literally just the Ice Pikmin.
Yeah, I don't think there will be, though. It's kind of disappointing that's...
Well, I mean, they're bringing back all the old ones. It's like an everyone is here type moment.
They've always added 2 new ones every game. And this time it's just Ice.
Unless the dog counts, but he's not even from the planet. He was part of the crew, it looked like, in the silhouettes.
And, like, in Pikmin 3...
Which is actually fitting. I like that better than him being, like, an alien creature on the planet. He doesn't look so much.
In Pikmin 3, Winged Pikmin and Rock Pikmin both kind of felt like gimmicky Pikmin. But at the same time, they both have, like, unique fighting advantages as well as their abilities.
That's kind of how Purple and White felt, too. So it works.
But yet, Ice feels a lot more gimmicky to me. I think you can freeze enemies, but that just seems overpowered. But it seems a lot more just like a gimmick, you know,
They also seem like almost...
Okay. Yep.
Sorry. A world traversal thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where I'm saying, though, that's not a very creative idea, which is why I feel...
That's what I'm saying, but clearly you weren't listening to me. Your neurons were just getting fired up.
Why do you agree with me now, but not before?
No, I was agreeing with you on the fact that I wish they add another Pikmin. Like, not just the Ice Pikmin, but...
No, I mean about the gimmickiness of it.
Well, I don't think that's inherently bad, but I think it would be less bad if they added, at least if there was another new type of Pikmin that they're adding. If it's just Ice Pikmin, then it's like, oh wow, you added a new Pikmin just for the gimmick, you know? But if they added 2 Pikmin, then it'd be like, okay, you added 1 for a gimmick. I mean, it's not just a gimmick. Again, it does have a battle purpose if you like can freeze the enemies, whatever. I'm just saying, only adding the 1 Pikmin feels like it's just shoehorned in to add gameplay. If they added 2, then it feels like, okay, now you have some more, like, diversity with what you added in here. Not just literally one idea. You're like, oh, what if we can freeze lakes? And then you just shoehorn it in with a new Pikmin. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing that it would be cool if they had added more than 1 Pikmin. But
I agree.
It's not that I think that the Ice Pikmin that they added is terrible.
I think I should just try to strategically zone out so you have more time to talk to yourself.
Yeah, and then not listen to anything I'm saying.
No, then my brain like does a backtracking thing and like fills in the blanks. This unfortunate thing though is that I'm probably, when the game comes out, you're probably gonna play it and I'm probably not, because the thing is, I already don't have time to play video games based off of what I want to do with my spare time. Like now that I'm not working a job, so when I am, I'll really probably not be able to allocate time to play a game, which is why I want to play the new Legend of Zelda. But I haven't even finished the old one yet. What are your opinions on the new Legend of Zelda? Because have you seen the new mechanics?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It's crazy robust.
I know
the
you love it.
The physics engine is crazy robust. When I learned that it's basically a physics engine sandbox, I was like, really? That's an interesting direction to go into. But
they kind of had that with the original Zelda, but they like expanded on it.
Yeah, no, they really leaned into the physics engine sandbox on this one. I think it's cool. There's been a lot of people complaining, like old Zelda heads. They're like, this is not even the same series as what I used to play. This is nothing like Ocarina of Time. Why are we now like building things and stuff? This isn't what Legend of Zelda is all about.
Yeah.
But first of all, I haven't played the game, so I can't speak on it too much. But I think, all of the Legend of Zelda is charm and all of the exploration and stuff is still there with the physics stuff and the building stuff on top of it. I've just only seen the physics stuff because that's the stuff that's like really new and cool and funny. But I'm sure there's an even balance of all of that stuff mixed together. So it seems really cool.
Jason has only played 2 Zelda games before in his entire life, Breath of the Wild being one of them. So, but as someone who has played
That's
the
not
2D
true.
games...
That's not true.
Well, really? Which one did you play?
I've played... Wait.
Ooh.
Wait. No, I've played the Four Swords Anniversary edition of whatever that game.
The free version, yeah. It's a bit of a cheat.
I've played Triforce Heroes.
A little.
Not more than a little. I played not with you. I played Triforce Heroes.
Oh.
I've played. I feel like there's something else. I played the original Legend of Zelda, and I played Breath of the Wild. So.
Well, as someone who has more experience...
I've just missed all the good ones, like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, as someone who's won Ocarina of Time and played Majora's Mask and Wind Waker and all those, I can say that the Zelda game experience has changed a lot, and there are definitely a lot of staples of it that are not present in Breath of the Wild and appear to not be present in Tears of the Kingdom. But it is a very dynamic series. So I feel like that's sort of an invalid argument to make.
Yeah,
everyone has their own completely new gimmick and approach.
Where was this hate between compare Twilight Princess and Wind Waker?
Well, here's the thing.
You know,
you maybe don't know this.
That's 2 massively different games.
You maybe don't know this, but when Wind Waker came out, everyone was upset by the new cutesy design.
Yeah, I know.
And then Twilight
Not anymore,
Princess,
though.
Yeah, it actually aged really well. And then Twilight Princess was made directly to give fans what they want. Rare move by Nintendo to give fans exactly what they want. But that's what I'm saying. It's been all over the place based off of what they deem as acceptable or what they're particularly interested in. This is just what they're interested in right now. Is a little bit of a contrast between the both of them.
Well,
a little bit more realistic, but also cel-shaded, stylistic, and more explorative in different ways.
It's also giving the fans what they want. In other words, Breath of the Wild again, because that game was massively popular. So,
dude, people were making the argument. I don't know if you saw this. Do you remember when Smash Bros. Came out and everyone was Ultimate was announced, and they were saying it was just going to be a port of Smash 4? There were people who were saying that this is essentially just DLC of Breath of the Wild.
John, people are going to say that about every sequel that comes out.
I know, but it's funny because it's just how wrong they are. And it's it reminds me more of the Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time, where it's the same engine, but they took it in a completely different direction. And the map is based off of the original map from Breath of the Wild. So there is a bit of an argument there, but you can make the same argument for Pikmin 2, but I wouldn't call it DLC.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. There were some people real mad about that the map is the same.
Oh, yeah. I think because it's huge. It just I just think it's cool at that point that you can show progression over time of the same locale.
It is
and
cool.
It's world building too, because it's an established locale.
Yeah, it's cool because it makes sense. Again, it's literally the same place that you're exploring, so why wouldn't it be the same? But then B, there is places that, as you said, they can show progression over time, which is also cool.
And a lot of past Zelda games have had maps that are at least based on the general location of major points same.
But yeah, it is so big that unless you're a speedrunner or have thousands of hours in the game, I can imagine in the gap of time since Breath of the Wild that there's a lot to re-explore that you have forgotten or don't remember it.
And when you do, you'll really just appreciate all the differences and I'm sure you'll enjoy what you find that's a part of the exploration on its own. Maybe you remember all those hills and valleys, but it's what's different this time around? Because there's a lot.
All of this coming from 2 people who have not played the game yet. So.
Yeah. Like I said, and I may not ever be able to. I knew you'd like it though.
It's $70.
Because honestly though, I knew people would be bumping up the price of games someday. They already have before in the past, but this is the first time where I think it's kind of deserved.
It's catching on.
This is a very
it's
high polish, high, what's the word? Very demanding game engine.
I forget what game it is.
And very expansive gameplay,
but
feel.
There's some game that's coming out now that's $70. I think Hogwarts Legacy was $70.
I hope they don't make it. I hope they don't use it as an excuse to make it look really good on paper and then say this is why it's $70 when really it's not.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. I know it is. I just don't want them to.
Ironically enough, I bet making your game cost $70 now is going to be the way of trying to prove that it's a good game.
Yeah. Imagine that. You're
it
making
costing-
more money by
it
making
costing
more money.
more
I
is
hate
gonna
it
make
when
it
it
look
feeds into
better.
itself.
Well, it's the same thing with like clothes and stuff. The more expensive clothes, it's all it is it's just if it costs more, it gives the illusion of it being better.
This recursive, monopolistic system we have, I hate it.
But with Legend of Zelda, it makes sense since it was in development for so long. They probably bled a lot of money on that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I like I said, I like just the engineerability of it. You can just stick anything together.
By that logic, though, Pikmin 4 should be $80.
I don't know if you compared it to $80. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm saying for how long it's been in development.
Oh, yeah, for
Literally
development.
a decade, almost.
All the Pikmin games have had, like... Well, no, I don't know about Pikmin 2. Because
When
it was on
actually,
the same console.
I think they
But
first...
Pikmin 3 was originally going to be on the Wii.
Pikmin 4 was first rumored in, like, 2015, right? So it's been...
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when.
2014 or 2015, so it's almost been a decade.
I was going to ask you, though.
If 9 years.
Because I heard other people make this comparison, and I made it myself. I think... Did you already compare it to Minecraft in any way? The new Legend of Zelda? Just in, like, the amount of stuff you're...
No, I wouldn't compare it to Minecraft.
I've heard people say that just because of that focus on building. But what
Bro,
it made me think of...
Anytime somebody sees a game with any kind of building, they're like,
Yeah, I know.
Minecraft!
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely
Minecraft!
ridiculous. But here's the thing. I actually want to say this one first because this is the one that other people have thought of. I heard people compare it to Bad Piggies, which I know you were a
Yes,
fan of.
yeah.
That it does because you can literally put
It
fans
is.
on stuff
It
and
is
then suddenly you
actually.
go.
That's the first thing. When I saw people use the like little the fans,
Yes.
the propellers,
Immediately.
I thought of Bad Piggies.
But for me, I thought of because have you seen the mechanic where you can like make a shield out of anything by putting that thing on your shield?
Yeah.
Make a weapon out of anything by putting on a stick. Minicraft. With the redstone brick stairs. You can just make anything.
Hey, that's a deep cut joke
That is a deep
nobody's
cut.
gonna get.
For those of you who don't know, Minicraft, Notch, the creator of the original Minecraft, he made like a little like top-down Zelda lookalike version of Minecraft.
It's for a Ludum Dare competition, which is a 48 hours to make a game competition.
Yeah, a little game jam. But people made mods of them. Where it was like, you add Minecraft style like building recipes to do stuff. I don't even think you can build like walls in that game. It's really more focused on progressing tools and then getting to a final location where you fight a boss. It's more Zelda-like.
Yeah, you can't actually in the original game you can't place any kind of wall.
Yeah.
You can only dig holes, but it's like a flat ground pretty much, except naturally generated walls, which are like stone, like mountains.
But people made mods for it that me and Jason delved into, and they made like every aspect of everything. You could get redstone, and then you could build them into redstone bricks, and then you could build them in those bricks into redstone brick planks, and then redstone brick plank stairs. It was just like a constant recursive stacking of recipes.
That's like if AI tried to generate a game right there.
And it
based
was
on Minecraft.
It just honestly got stupid and ridiculous and was rarely ever useful. But it looks cool in the way
That's
Zelda
actually
does.
so funny though. Somebody should make a Minecraft mod where you can do that.
Honestly,
where you can take any item and
it's
make
just like
a
logic
slab out of
this
it.
is the brick formation. This will make a brick out of anything.
Yeah,
you know.
And then you
Pork chop brick.
dude. You can make. You could literally make like brick bricks.
brick.
You can make brick stairs.
And they're just like
something.
super dense bricks.
Yeah. It would be the texture of bricks 4 times.
That's like because I've seen people make like game jams where it's like recursive games. There's like a level inside a level inside a level. It's like that logic, but with items. I'd actually like to see someone do that.
Anyways,
there'd probably be some really creative ways to make that crash the game, though.
we're gonna take a moment for our national anthem. That's all I'm gonna play so that we don't get
Oh yeah, good point.
copyright.
Oh yeah, have you been hearing about
stricken?
Rovio's recent like business actions? They like
They got bought by Sega.
They did?
Yes.
I didn't hear about that.
Sega bought Rovio, and the first thing they did, turn them into a social media influencer thing.
Oh my goodness.
And
they're using the new design
Jonathan,
of the characters from the movie.
Listen to this. Listen. They now have a TikTok for Red, the Red Bird.
Yes, I knew about that.
And they deep fake him.
I didn't know about that.
Somebody does like commentary, and they deep fake him so that he's like. I think it's
they couldn't just
deep
do
fake-
like a VTuber model thing.
I think that might be what it is.
Okay,
It's like
good. That's
VTuber.
better.
Of him like reacting to stuff and saying the most random, weird, cringy, like just stupid humor stuff.
Chuck E. Cheese did something like that with their mascot.
That's
but it was like a hand puppet.
No,
it was at least a little mechanically creative.
One of the first videos they did was a smash or pass. Of
what?
I can't remember what even it was, but it was the bird doing and he's like sitting. They have him like sitting at a gamer desk or something like. I can't remember how it is, but it's like it's so bad.
This is stupid.
And this is coming from a longtime Angry Birds fan, but Rovio has been terrible lately as its own company. I have the game on my phone. They released what they call
we have the trilogy on 3DS too.
That's unrelated to what I was supposed to say.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say that we're fans.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I've played like every Angry Birds game, but they released what they were calling Angry Birds Classics. So they released the original Angry Birds game, reprogrammed, and we're selling it on the App Store for 99 cents. So you get the whole game, no ads or whatever.
Yeah, and people were mixed on that.
And you get infinite Mighty Eagle stuff. It gets the full unlocked game, everything, for 99 cents. So I bought it. I was like, that's cool. That's cool to have. I 3-starred all of the maps and everything. Not even a year after they released it. Luckily, I got it. But not even a year after they released it, they took it off the App Store.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't making them enough money because it's a one-time purchase rather than microtransactions.
Yeah, and the funny thing is people were debating about whether this was a financial gain or like financial generosity move to do what they're doing. Because, people are always complaining about like how manipulative like the ad system is and like how shoved down your throat. And so they were like, well, they're just making it for an upfront price now without the ads. And some people were saying that's better, and other people were saying, nah, they're trying to make more money off of this, which I really didn't think they would.
No.
But now it does seem greedy that they realize they're not making enough money, and they're like, okay, yeah, we're not doing this.
And silly me was excited for them to come out with Angry Birds Classic, Angry Birds 2, and then Angry Birds Space, and Angry Birds Rio, and
stuff. Have we
still
not found Space or the Star Wars ones?
No, they don't exist anymore on the App Store. They don't. You can't get
them.
They
were so fun.
The only thing you can do is...
Do you still have like the like RPG spin-off and all that stuff on any tablet or anything? I remember you used to play that.
Epic, Angry Birds Epic, I think is on the tablet. But yeah, all those games are off the App Store. The only way you could play them is to sideload them, or you can pirate them. I think the PC versions you can pirate them online. But it's just crazy that there's no official way to play any of their original games anymore. I mean, it's been this way for a long time, but I thought that they were actually going to start bringing them back with the Angry Birds Classics things, and now they're not because it's not lucrative enough for them. They have to keep making garbo.
Bad day for game archivists.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, they've really, what they've done lately is just been terrible with the way they're marketing their games, and even just the games they're making lately are so mediocre but just full with ads and stuff.
The stuff you're saying is like makes sense now with the way they're marketing the Red character, and I hate that they're using the movie version too.
Well, you know what else they do?
But I guess it's more human and therefore more relatable.
They've started doing those
I've literally seen them like flirting with other like indie game characters on Twitter. So it makes so much sense now.
They've started doing those clickbait mobile game ads where they like the ad does not depict any real gameplay whatsoever. It's just a completely made up animated thing.
And Sega's letting them doing this?
Well, this was before they were bought by Sega.
Okay.
So we'll see if them being bought by Sega does or changes anything. So far it's only seemed to get more downhill.
Imagine they make an Angry Birds movie too.
You know, I never
didn't they
I never
already
even watched the Angry Birds movie. I still have never watched it.
Some people say it's the first good, or at least, like, passable video game movie.
Yeah.
And I realized this when I was talking about the Mario movie. I said it was the first movie that wasn't afraid to be like a video game movie and actually be set in its game universe and tell the actual story instead of like Sonic, where they just threw him into a real-world scenario. Or like Detective Pikachu, where they made up a whole alternate real-world scenario.
Yeah, you know the Angry Birds movie predates the Sonic movie.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, it didn't occur to me at the time that Angry Birds actually predated the Mario movie, and, I mean, well, that occurred to me, but that it also was in universe and did that thing. Although, they changed a lot, like with the designs and, like, the way the story approaches.
Well, they stylized it quite a bit.
Yeah. I like the old. Why are people
what I
afraid to
don't
make
like-
wonky styles though? Not everything has to look human or whatever.
Well, I think they didn't want to be limited by the fact that their characters don't have arms or legs.
Maybe you could give them little wings.
There's
I don't
only
know.
so much you could do in the movie with that. So I understand the movie designs, but what they didn't need to do is make the movie designs become the canon regular game designs. Like, just let that be the movie design. Okay, that it's more compatible for the movie, but then keep their original designs in the games. You know, you don't have to try to make them have movie like anthropomorphic designs in the games when it doesn't make sense anymore.
And I know Mario has a leg up because he's already human, but they could have maybe made him like. They could have redesigned him to like blend better to animation, but I like that the designs in that movie are pretty faithful.
But, you know, overall, it's basically just been, their brand has been extremely kidified. Speaking of kidification.
And yet they're doing smasher passes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so weird. It's like they're now trying to like do this weird, more adult, edgy, teenage kind of humor. Not even adult. It's like middle schoolers would think it's funny. But lately, the past few years, all they've been doing is making games that are targeted towards like literally like people that would like Frozen, you know, like, and I don't know, I don't really know why.
It's like that Elsagate content I was talking about. You seem to not know that term. Have you not heard of that?
I don't know what the term means. I've heard of the term, but I don't know what the term means.
People who were like making like weirdly like disturbing, sometimes perverted videos that are targeted towards kids, and it's really just a bunch of grown men dressed up as like Spider-Man and Elsa running around and like throwing balls at their kids to like basically just farm views from children on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
and that's like had a resurgence lately.
But anyways,
really not a resurgence. It's just started showing up in people's recommended like mainstream again.
I don't think Angry Birds ever.
But that's why I feel like I need to say this. That's why they made those whole like demonetizing videos with like kids in them and stuff.
Yeah,
rules back.
Yeah,
in the
I know.
day.
I don't think Angry Birds was ever that targeted towards kids. I'm going to be honest. It got very popular, which means...
It was very casual target audience.
It was among a lot of demographics just because of how popular it got. And, like, I was certainly a kid when I liked it. But I definitely think... I mean, it's a simple game to play, but if you're really going to play it, like... First of all, there's so many levels. Like, I'm sure most kids, if they played Angry Birds, it was like they played a couple levels.
Dude,
and they
I
got
wish
bored.
modern games had more content like that.
But, yeah, I mean, I could go on and on if you want me to talk about how good Angry Birds is. But
maybe another day.
But I think that, like, the kind of audience who would actually really get into it, the game, is probably, like it's like Candy Crush. Candy Crush might have like a cutesy art style and stuff, but who really likes it? Literally old women. Like that's the trope. I think the same is probably true of Angry Birds, where it was like a slightly older audience that would actually like play the game, or at least would be like the ones that are actually buying stuff.
The kids would drop
like
out once you got to levels where you
app.
actually have to not just try and fling towards the biggest thing.
Yeah. So I feel like going with the kid direction has just completely changed their brand and their games from what it used to be, and I don't think they had to do that at all. But here we are. Here that they did it. So it's kind of sad. I mean, at least if they wanted to kidify it, at least do the other stuff too for other audiences. Don't get rid of the Angry Birds Classics games. But it's too late. It's over.
It's too late. I said a bad day for game archivists. On a very small note, good day for like obscure splash text archivists. Somebody found a way to like hack in Backway and with almost like I don't know what you call like a modification for like a browser add-on or something like that. But you can re-add in annotations to YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Actually,
it reminds me of when they got rid of dislikes, and a lot of people. There's someone made like an open source GitHub thing where you could use this software to read your dislikes from your channel and post them to a top comment if you wanted to put dislikes back. Essentially, it's kind of like that feel.
How does that work though?
It's still buried in there somewhere.
What you're telling me is that all videos that have ever had annotations are still holding on to that annotation.
Yeah,
data.
Apparently.
That's crazy.
I will
Props
admit,
to YouTube for not throwing it away. Because
that's why I said archivism right there. I like the archivist aspect of YouTube. I like being able to say, here's a video, I can always come back to it on this link, and it'll retain everything that it always had.
Yeah.
But lately, I mean, I go back into like my liked videos, my watch later playlist. Sometimes it's just like not available, not available. This video has been deleted. This video is private. And I'm like, no.
Well, I mean, that's up to the person who posted it.
I mean, it makes me sad, but yes, if it's privated, then I'm like, I respect your decision, but also I'm sad. But yeah, I'm glad that it's still there. It makes me wonder what else could be hidden on other websites. I'm surprised they even did this.
The only thing I wish with private videos is if you had already seen the title of it, like when you saved it or whatever, I wish that it could just tell you what video it was. Because you don't even know if it's private.
You know what I do? You can take the V equals section, search it in Google in quotation marks.
It's called the video ID.
Yeah, and it'll usually pop up with some article or a tweet or something that'll be like talking about what it is. And sometimes it'll even straight up like have like embedded like meta ghost data, ghostware data, metaware ghost, some combination of those words, and it'll actually have the title printed out where the link is, like as if you posted and it did a little embedded.
Yeah.
But speaking of Twitter, bad news for archivists again. Elon Musk is rolling out this thing that might again just be like what's the word? Just a thing he's throwing out there to scare people. But he's saying that a lot of inactive accounts are just going to be deleted now.
Oh yeah, he said that when he first became the CEO, and he's still been saying it. And as far as I know, it still hasn't happened.
He like laid out some actual information on, by the way. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to say. I didn't look too much into the annotations thing, so sorry I didn't Jamie it. We don't have a Jamie, but that's what I've heard about the bringing the annotations back. But about the Twitter now, I've heard that for some people, inactive, depending on your type of account and stuff, can be like as little as like 30 days without activity.
What?
Yeah, I know. So you're going to see posts like deleted left and right.
I don't believe that. There's no way 30 days they would delete your
And like
account.
that scares me because just think about like all the gimmick accounts that have like long posts of stuff that you just want to go back and see, but because they've like more or less finished what they were set out to do, now they're just going to go away.
Yeah, they've memorialized those.
Yeah. That's not...
There's no way to memorialize accounts on Twitter.
Yeah, there's those things don't become invaluable just because they're not talking to people. They were never meant to do that. You're de-versatiling
The only good
Twitter.
thing about that is that I'll be able to claim my tag or claim my handle as JamLab once the inactive JamLab account gets taken down.
Dude, actually, that is a silver lining.
That
right
I think is the biggest argument for doing so is because inactive accounts that have like the OG usernames and will they'll never go away. And like so if you think about like platforms like Instagram where people are joining constantly, I mean, you have to add if like you just want it to be your name, you would have to add so many extra letters, characters, underscores, whatever, to get anything close to your name. Because think about how many people have your name and how many usernames are taken. And there might be people that don't even use Instagram or haven't used it in years, but that username is still taken. So it's an interesting concept. I wish it was executed better. Maybe don't delete the account and all of its content, but maybe somehow free up the username.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting if like, yeah, what if they just kept the name of the account and then was like username available?
Yeah.
Like username void. And it was just like then how would links to it work?
Then here's what I think you should do. Well, and this is how it works in reality in almost every.
Because there's probably like a hard-coded actual ID number.
There's a user ID, right? There's a they call it a UUID, which is a universally unique identifier.
Yes.
So every account already has its UUID. If you mod Minecraft or do anything with Minecraft, you've probably heard of the term UUID as well, because every Minecraft account has a UUID separate from its username. So the username is really just a visual thing on top of the UUID. So every account has its UUID, but you can claim a username. So when an account goes into like memoriam like that, like it loses its username, it could still be retained and not deleted completely, and you could still go to it if you knew the UUID, or it could even do what Steam does, where it keeps previous aliases, previous usernames that account had, so you could search for it by previous usernames. Yeah,
but then I feel like that could be used to like trick people into thinking that the current user posted something, when really it was someone going by the same tag at a different time,
Well, it would just say previously had the username.
Yeah,
or something.
something like that.
But only for accounts that are like archived like that. But that's what they should do is just archive accounts.
When someone
and what?
I was gonna say because that makes sense to the whole UUID thing because when somebody creates a new account with an old now like recycled username, they get a new ID anyways, right? So the user IDs are always going to be a consistent marker for what that account actually was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a problem with usernames anyways because
how big do you think the UUIDs get for like the Twitter user base though?
So the way UUIDs work is that they're based on basically like a geographical mixed with like a millisecond or nanosecond timestamp. So that's what makes them unique is that every time you generate a UUID, it's like this it's sort of like a stamp that's a mixture of like geographical and time related information.
Yeah.
So that only at the exact moment that that's generated will you ever get that UUID. So they're usually like between 32 to 64 characters long.
Trying to blow up Twitter's mainframe by creating two accounts at the exact same millisecond.
So I think you can I think the longest a UUID would be is probably 64 digits long. I mean, if you think about how many possibilities that give you.
Because that's what I was just thinking. Hilariously large username.
Especially if you're talking about like base 64 digits, where you have like basically any letter of the alphabet, any number, kind of like how YouTube does it. 64 digits long. That's an enormous number of possibilities. So you probably wouldn't even need that many digits. But yeah, it's definitely feasible. And it wouldn't be necessary to always like refer to a username by its UUID, but it does solve some issues. Like if a Twitter account changes their username and somebody linked to it as like twitter.com/ whatever that username is, that won't exist anymore. So it is
it's always
a very
from
transient
an
thing.
Standpoint.
Yeah. It's like how Reddit has like the permalink thing, a link to posts that will never change.
The sad thing about Reddit is that of all the...
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Reddit. I was going to talk about Reddit, the Reddit Blackout.
Oh. You want to know real quick?
That?
No.
I was going to mention that.
I was going to say Reddit is like one of those social medias or whatever you could call it, that it's like my opinion of the actual service compared to my opinion of its user base has like the highest like disparity of any. You know? Like, I actually kind of dig it as a...
I'm about to change your mind.
Oh, no.
I was going to talk about this when you talked about the writer strike, because this is basically a Redditor strike.
Oh, no. Well, then maybe I'll respect their audience more.
So, Reddit basically did a similar...
The disparity will be in the opposite direction.
Reddit did a similar thing that Twitter did with its API.
Oh,
where Twitter made its API cost money for you to use it in any way. So there is no longer any free version of the API, meaning that outside websites and stuff can't interact with Reddit, can't get data from Reddit. That's what the API is for. So, if you had some thing that was like tracking posts or tracking the number of posts or something on Reddit, that's just a simple API request. You can no longer do that for free, which is going to mess up a lot of websites. And basically Reddit just like hard dropped this decision on
the unsuspecting
user base. And apparently I didn't think it would be this big of an issue, but apparently it sounds like it's a pretty big issue that there's a lot of stuff that would affect if people had to pay for that API. And again, there might be some fact checking on this, so do your own research because I haven't done quite enough research on exactly what the Reddit people did, but basically the response was very, very strong and clear that nobody liked that. So what happened with Reddit is they organized basically like a strike, but they called it a blackout, where many of the top subreddits and all kinds of subreddits, but the important part was that a lot of the top subreddits, like r/pics, for example, literally the subreddit where people post cool pictures. And like if you've ever used Reddit, this is all the kind of stuff that if you have a new account and you aren't like following specific stuff, these are like the subreddits you'll just get randomly recommended, or they'll be like featured is in like these top subreddits with millions of users. They went private. The moderators made their subreddits private, so you could not see like anything on Reddit because every subreddit went down. And actually, I think it crashed the website at one point, but up until I think it was yesterday, the the Blackout was going strong. I think yesterday a lot of subreddits made themselves public again because Reddit admins were actually reaching out to subreddit moderators and threatening them to like delete all of their content forever if they didn't reactivate
Oh wait, hold on.
themselves.
Restate that?
The subreddit moderators, the people who moderate the subreddits, you know, the communities.
Yeah.
They got threatened by Reddit people at
company.
Reddit, the company,
Whoa.
to make their subreddits public, or they would like either remove them as moderators or like delete their subreddits altogether. Basically, just ruin everything for them if they didn't publicize.
But they did not waver.
No, they did.
Dang it!
Jonathan, that's what I just said. I said it started letting up yesterday because of that. But think about it.
Oh my goodness, have some balls,
No,
people!
But would you want to lose your entire subreddit?
I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in!
But I mean, here you were talking about archivism. You know, if
I believe in freedom more than archivism, I
Okay.
think.
Well, I don't. You have to look. There's a website somebody made to track which subreddits are down. But I think a lot of them.
I mean, that's literally evil. Like, that
Came
feels
back
like
up.
it should be illegal. You're making threats to your user base?
Well, it's not illegal because they control the platform, but it's certainly terrible.
I mean, that is just awful.
I can't believe you
people
haven't
should
heard about
strike
this,
like
though.
this more often, though. Like, I know it's fitting with the Redditor stereotype, these entitled whiners, to like strike a website. But honestly, that's what we should be doing. Like, this is awful. They are so anti-consumeristic. We need to do something like this. And then they just straight up come up and say, we're going to delete everything you care about because you're daring to defy us in any way, even when it's reasonable and unanimous. No, screw that. Back up everything you have on your personal drives and then say, go ahead, kill me. I will not stand.
I'm trying to find the website.
I will sit down.
I'm trying to find the website that shows which subreddits are down.
You guys don't know this. Jason's finding a website, so I might as well say this. Every time I get really mad, I grab my phone and I stand up and I take one step, like, you know, like when you shift your core to like do put more effort into something, and I toss my phone. I'm glad my dad's not here to hear this, because every time I do something like this, he's like, you're gonna break something valuable. I don't care. Also, that's never happened. Also, I don't care. I'm choking on saliva, sorry. I throw my phone into the back of the couch because it's the easiest way to get out my anger.
Okay, 3,564 subreddits are currently dark still.
That's still, I mean, that's commendable.
So, but oh yeah, see a lot of the big ones became public again. A lot of these, like r/pics, like I said, r/science, I think, gaming, those were all private. Look, you can see now, in the 30 million category, only r/music is restricted. 20 million category, DIY is private. Mildly interesting is private. Shower thoughts and videos are restricted. 10 million r/creepy, fitness, history, listen to this, philosophy, unexpected. So this used to be a way more percentage of these. But a lot of them
they don't even try, like, did they even try, like, a PR move? Like, we understand that you aren't fans of this new blah, blah, blah. Did they at least, like, pull a YouTube and like, give some BS reason, like, with the dislikes that was obviously a lie, but try to, like, settle people down? Which is totally fake, but at least it's,
Don't worry, John, we're going to be okay. Asian Hotties is gone dark.
Yes!
Oh, big boobs GW is gone dark.
Yes! Yes! Nah, jeez, man. This is just sad. Like, they just went straight for saying, we hate you, we'll destroy everything you care about. We can't live under this system. Dude, I'm gonna start using the dark web. I'm telling you.
Well, between this and Twitch and you know, it's getting pretty dystopian out here.
It is.
With social media.
The media is on a downward spiral. The social networking is on a downward spiral.
Honestly,
the industry is on a downward spiral, and I'm part of it now.
If social media implodes/explodes, I wouldn't be too upset. I think it might heal the world in a way. It would kind of be like an ice age. I think it would.
Yeah.
I think it would do us some good.
Honestly, we need to stop caring so much about things that aren't
we
real.
need a social media ice age, I think.
We need to have our own privatized technology and live off our land. That's what I think.
And build boxes for our radios.
Yes!
And with that, thanks for watching. I apologize for the 30 to 50 minute mark, or maybe it was like 20 to 40 minute mark. That was the worst thing I've ever had to sit through. I feel for you. That was terrible.
It was necessary to get the ball rolling. I was too nervous. I really was. You actually helped me break out
By making you angry about superheroes.
Yes, about not being able to understand what I was talking about.
That Iron Man is marketed to kids. I always knew you hated Iron Man.
Oh, I never got to tell my story. I was going to say the video that I was going to bring up is there were these people who were like reenacting like an Avengers scene at a birthday party dressed up as like Thanos, Spider-Man, Iron Man. And there's a scene, they're like acting out, they like tackle down Thanos onto the ground, and a bunch of kids come running up and start kicking Thanos in the face, the Thanos actor guy. Because they're like, superheroes beat up the bad guy. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that these things should be marketed towards kids.
Dude, that's
I don't
so classic.
think any form of media glorifies violence more than superhero films and media.
That's classically Chronically online, though. You saw one video, and it's modeled your entire
No, but don't act like there aren't kids out there who would do that.
Look, I've never liked...
Well, actually, I need to tell you, the one kid started kicking him in the head, all the kids ran up and joined him.
I never liked superheroes as a kid, but I will say I think it's just a problem with parents not teaching kids that there's a separation from fiction and reality. I think that's
you got these iPad parents. It's like, Timmy, look at the bright screen. Oh, thank goodness. It's like I'm single again and I don't have kids. Oh, yes. Oh, they're parenting for me. They just look at the pretty colors. I hate those people. That was
kind of funny. That was kind of based.
It is based. You have to be involved in
those families that have
you can't expect to put nothing into something and get less than nothing out.
They have phone time together as a family. It's like, I really want to scroll on Instagram. Here, can you I don't know, watch TikToks or something. They'll probably learn. You'll probably learn. You'll learn how to read.
You'll learn how to twerk. You'll learn how to You'll learn how to do stupid dances.
You'll learn how to kill your friends, like that one trend.
Yes. You'll learn how to drink battery acid. That's the next challenge.
I don't know why I stood up. I forgot you still are rambling on and we haven't stopped the actual episode yet.
Yes.
This is probably...
With that, go outside, touch grass, have a good day, build boxes. Eat grass if you're a cow.
And if it's not treated with chemicals.
Oh, yeah. I want to go on a tangent about...
We live in. Can't even eat that. Can't even...
I've been the bro host.
I've been the host.
And this has been the... pod.
Yeah, that was
cast.
Unfortunate. Bye.
See you next time, whenever that is. Bye.